It is part 2 of Smash Bros. Tier list.
Took a while, but we're back. We're here to finish what we started.
So true. Coming back with... This is a refresher of where we were at.
Mm-hmm.
It's been like a couple weeks since we did that first one.
We're on Little Mac. I like Little Mac. I started on Little Mac. I feel like he's...
Oh, that's true.
I feel like he's mostly because he's very simple to understand. There's nothing crazy going on with his moveset. He's simple. And he was easy for me to sort of learn the mechanics on.
It's kind of like tragic that you started on notoriously like one of the worst characters in the game. But in a weird way, I do think he's actually kind of good for new people. The only thing that makes me not say that is how much his recovery sucks. And also he is really, 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 really bad at teaching beginners how to use aerials because he doesn't use aerials because all of his aerials suck. He's honestly kind of complicated for me. I think that's where he goes for me though, because I think he's fun. I think he's neat. I kind of like that he fulfills like a niche where he just like punches big. But at the same time, doesn't really work well in Smash. Like I said, he is really bad. But he's also really annoying because the people who are good at him make you feel like you really suck at the game because you're not supposed to lose to him. And then you do, and it's sad. But he's pretty cool. But like honestly, in terms of like cool factor, I actually would put him like higher. Like my instinct is to kind of put him at like A or something because I do like him, and I think it's cool that he's just in the game because Punch Out is cool representation. But then I think back to like actually playing him, especially in like competitive settings, and then the fruitless journey trying to get back to stage it's just tragic. So I can't put him, I think, higher than Peach.
Fair. I know nothing about Lucario, except he's one of the Pokemon in Smash.
Yep. I do think he is a severely underrated Pokemon in Smash. In fact, I think he's one of the... He might be like the coolest one.
He's one of the Pokemon in Smash, that's for sure.
But this list is organized by like alphabet, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lucario, Lucas, Lucina.
Because in my head, for some reason, I keep thinking that it's organized by games, and I'm like, where's Pokemon Trainer? But,
The Pokemon Trainer.
I think he's really cool. I think he's super underrated in this game. I mean, I know he's not, like, great, but he is super fun. And he's definitely better than I think he was in the past. I like him more than these two. I like him more than Diddy. That's where he'll go for me.
Yeah.
I want to see more people use him, but I also understand because he's pretty frustrating to play as.
Lucas.
I like him. I always go back and forth between whether I like him more than Ness or not, but right now I'm pretty settled into saying that I do like him more than Ness. I'm kind of biased because my first game was Brawl, and that's when he was introduced, so he was kind of like cool. Because he's like, whoa, new Nest just dropped. And he's got ice, and that's cool. And I would argue he's less annoying because he doesn't have PK Fire. I mean, his is also annoying, but I would argue it's much less annoying. And he's got a little snake. He does lose points, I think, because he has dumb hair. But I kind of like his dumb hair.
His dumb hair is cool.
If I could keep... ranking him is kind of hard because I think Earthbound is like really cool and we need an Earthbound in the game. If we had to choose one of the two that we have, I would definitely choose Lucas. That being said, I think I would put him like there. I would personally put him above Link, but that's kind of controversial. Kind of. That's where I put him. Lucina.
Boo.
Isn't this your least favorite character in the game?
Yeah, she was one of my mains.
She was one of your
But, like,
mains?
at one point she was, but now I look at her and I'm like, bland. And also someone that I don't get along with mains Lucina, so.
Oh, is that true? Is that why?
It's like
You didn't tell me that.
It's
I feel like
like
that's probably the main reason.
30-40% of the reason.
Yeah, that's cool. I didn't know you played them. I just know that you. I'm pretty sure you told me that they're your least favorite character in this game, which I think is a very
that's a bit
funny
of an
take.
exaggeration. I think Lucina is comfortable to play. She's another good character to start out with because she doesn't have anything like crazy going on with her moveset. Her movement feels good. It's not too fast, not too slow for someone starting out. Like, she's a good character. I kind of play up my dislike for her for the bit, but she's not that bad. She's not as bad as I whine and cry about her being.
This is where they go for me. I also feel I want to like double check in since it's been a while since we were doing this, but like, are we doing the thing where like we each place it in a spot and then we compromise, or are you kind of just letting me giving you thoughts?
Yeah, this is mainly your list because
Okay.
I don't know a lot about a lot of them. I haven't played Smash for very long, so I'm letting you place them wherever you want. I'll put my input in, and if you feel like that sways you into putting it somewhere else,
yeah,
and that's the main thing. There are a couple characters where I'm like, I want this one above other characters. Like, I believe I said I wanted Daisy above Peach.
Yeah. Yeah, this is where they go for me. I like them. I like the sort of dichotomy between them and Marth. I'm also. It's probably my most degenerate Smash take is that I'm a Fire Emblem apologist. I like all of them. Well, not all of them, but I like them. I mean, I do. I guess I would agree that there's too many of them, but also I don't mind. But I like Lucina. I will say, after some years with this game now, I think when it first came out, I preferred Lucina. But now that I've settled back in, and I've gotten more familiarized with the history of the franchise, I have to say that Marth is just way cooler. Even in this game, where he's, like, not seen as being as good. So, I think she's really cool, and I like her. I think she's, like, very nice to play as. However, that being said, I honestly still wouldn't be that... If I needed to, like, remove one of the Fire Emblems from the game, she'd probably be the first to go. Either her or Chrom. I think I'd probably personally choose Chrom, but I think you could make an argument for either one. But I do still like them. I am happy that she's here. Luigi is awesome.
Luigi.
Well,
everybody loves Luigi.
Actually, I'm getting too emotionally attached because I see Luigi and I get happy. But I have to remember that this is Smash Bros. Specifically and not just Luigi. In which case, Luigi is awful. He's a monster. God, Luigi in Smash has always been so messed up. Like, usually he, like, sucks. And even when, like, in this game, I think this is the game where he's, like, considered to be the best. And even then, he's, like... Before DLC, he was probably considered, like, the most annoying character. And, like, every now and then there's a player that comes in with Luigi and like, terrorizes everyone. He's no good. He's the famous Touch of Death character where he just lands a grab and kills you. But the thing is that that's his whole thing. Which is kind of neat. I think it's fun. I do respect... I'm kind of talking trash right now, but I actually genuinely do respect Luigi players. It does take patience and skill, but it is annoying. I miss his really stupid Final Smash from Brawl where he just turned the game like inverse colors and did a fruity dance. They always change his Final Smash because they don't know what to do with him.
We are partially ranking them based on personal preference, but we are also just ranking how good they are. Right? So I want to put them that low.
I'm not factoring in competitive viability. Not really.
Okay.
Well, unless they're so bad that it, like Little Mac, like he's not, in my opinion, he's so bad that it makes him less fun to play.
Well, if you're not factoring in viability and we're just doing personal preference, then why did I have to convince you to put Icon as?
Because I don't think he deserves to be in this. Because he's like he's not like Smash Bros. To me.
Yeah, but you're always like, oh my guy, it's my guy.
He is my guy. But
yeah.
but I'm wrong. But I'm wrong. I feel bad for him being my guy because I know I'm wrong, but it's a tinge of guilt.
Guilty pleasure.
Luigi is, you know what, I'll put him a bit higher in B just because I like how kind of quirky they made him in Smash.
You should put him next to Daisy.
Like I said, he used to have a really silly thing, and he's famous for having like silly taunts and stuff. I'll put him
next to Daisy so they can hold hands.
I'll put him here.
No.
I'll do this.
Yay. Yippee.
I'll do this.
Mario.
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 I don't know if I don't know. People watching may or may not have seen ProZD's Smash like tier list, or not his tier list, but when he like cut the roster in half video. But he had the wild take in that one of putting like Dr. Mario above regular Mario, which is like a crazy take. But I'm not gonna lie, I kind of agree with that take. I think Dr. Mario is like awesome and regular Mario is pretty cool, but that being said, he is literally Mario.
Mario, Jumpman, Mario, the guy.
He does feel like Smash Bros. To me. Like, whenever I play new Smash Bros., he's always my go-to to, like, figure out how the game feels, and he's a very nice sweet spot, very well-rounded. He's a good boy. He's Mario. Marth. I'm trying not to be too melee-pilled in this list, but oh goodness. This is the boy that started it all. It started my sorties.
Marth.
Like, after playing so much melee, I have so much more respect for him now.
I have nothing to say about Marth. They're touching swords.
they're touching. Okay. I should disclose that I've never even played... Well, I played one for like 5 minutes, but I've never actually played a Fire Emblem game as much as I like the Fire Emblem characters. I just like sword characters. So I'm not emotionally attached to them very much, except for Ike, just because I've known him in Smash so long. And because I don't know them from the games that well, I can't put them as high as, like, characters that I think deserve to be in here, like other ones. However, even without that, I can't imagine Smash without him. Like, in Melee, he's so cool. He's like a viable alternative to, like, the Spacey archetype. It's like Spacey v Swordy. I gotta put him there. I know he's kind of lame in this game, but I still think he's cool. He's still Marth to me.
Marth.
Megan! Mega Man. My child.
We love
I don't
him.
even care. He's going like...
We love to see him. We love to see him. We love to see him.
I gotta put him behind Joker because as much as I love him in the game and I want him to never leave me, but I have to admit, he does feel a little bad to play. In my opinion, I need more practice. But like Joker's integration with his moveset and into the game is like really smooth and he feels great to play. Mega Man feels kind of clunky. But that being said, if they just like cleaned up the edges around Mega Man, I think he'd be great. Like, I love his moveset. I love all the allusions to previous Mega Man titles with all the different moves. And Mega Man is one of my favorite series, so I love the boy. He's got to go there for me. And I put him behind DDD just because DDD's awesome. I think Mega Man has more potential that they can unlock. But for now, I want to get better at him. I want to play a lot more Mega Man. He's cool. He also, I think, gets to fall down a little bit because he is pretty annoying by how much he relies on projectiles.
Meta Knight.
Meta Knight is a complicated figure in the history of Smash Bros. But I think that makes him more interesting. He's like top 3 most controversial, probably top 2 most controversial characters of all time. Well, before Ultimate at least. Because like every other DLC character in Ultimate is really controversial. But the best, most broken character in the most broken Smash game of Brawl. But in this game, he's like a watered down version of his past self, which is for the best because, again, he was broken. But it does feel kind of weird because I don't know, he feels like kind of shallow. But I still think he's really fun. I think he's like pretty good. When MK Leo played as him, that was super hype. But he's kind of hard. But he is awesome.
I really like Meta Knight outside the context of Smash Bros.
Yeah, me
Inside
too.
the context, I don't know much besides he's frustrating to play against.
I think he's...
Especially considering the one Meta Knight main I have known and played against.
You know a Meta Knight main?
Yeah.
Dang.
Remember from high school. I don't want to say exact names while on stream. He was our piano guy in high school.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I think I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, we played a couple times with him.
That's awesome.
During those last days of school where everybody would like bring their consoles into band and like project the Wii consoles into the band lockers because there were the giant tuba lockers that were big enough to fit like a TV screen, and they bring projectors and played video games in the tuba lockers. Yeah, that was fun.
I kind of feel bad having this many Kirby characters so high up, but at the same time, Kirby's awesome.
Kirby's awesome. Don't be sorry. Don't feel bad. This is the only 3, right? DDD, Kirby, and Meta Knight.
Everyone,
I wish Waddle Dee was there. I love Waddle Dee.
Everyone is hoping Bandana Waddle Dee. They can just steal the moveset from Super Smash Flash 2 and everyone will be happy because they did a great job designing him in that game.
I love Bandana Waddle Dee. Every time we play a Kirby game, I refuse to play Kirby. I have to be Bandana Waddle Dee. I love him. He feels good playing to me.
When I first started playing Kirby, when I was like 8, I liked being player 2 in Kirby's Dream Land to be Bandana Waddle Dee, for sure. Mewtwo is awesome, but he does feel awkward to play. But I've gotten a lot more respect for him lately as a Pokemon. In fact, I like him more than Incineroar.
Mewtwo has always been cool to me, but he's always looked like slightly too smooth and squishy.
Yeah. I don't love his design, honestly,
Like
even now.
if
But
they made his skin look a little drier, I don't know if that makes sense. Then he'd be more like comfortable to look at. And I
yeah,
know he's like kind of sort of like a fetus.
yeah. I think yeah he's supposed to be kind of freaky looking,
Yeah.
and the more I sort of understand his deal, I kind of like him. I think he's neat.
Yeah, he's cool.
And in Smash, he's got fun ideas. I definitely think he could be cooler if he was like faster, but then he might be busted. I don't know. Oh
Mr.
boy.
Game and Watch.
This one is complicated in the context of Smash Ultimate because while
Gimmicky ass character.
it's nice to see him finally be viable or like really good, they went a little too far because he's like really good.
Gimmicky character.
And it's like kind of crazy how good he is. He has like every tool. He goes too far. Like he's pretty annoying in this game, but I still think he's neat. And like as a Smash character, he's like iconic in my opinion. But I do want to give him a little slap on the wrist for his neutral air in this game. And his up B. And his smash attacks. But I definitely don't want them to take him out. I don't even know if I want them to neuter him. I kind of like him being... I think he's a fun top tier to have, you know? Actually, you know, I take it all back. I think he's awesome. Where's he gonna go? He'll go right there. Well, I like Pit. He'll be above Mario, though. That's kind of funny. Here's Ness. He is iconic. He is Smash Bros. To me. But I'll put him... I'd rather have him than Lucina, I guess. I like playing Lucina more, though.
PK Fire.
But, like, for the good of the world. Maybe for the good of the world, it'd be better to take him out.
Take out the voice lines and maybe he'd be fine.
But he's awesome. I gotta leave him.
Oh
no.
I always forget he's in the game.
Yeah.
Olimar.
Me too. This one's so hard for me because Pikmin is awesome. And I love that they got Pikmin rep in the game, and now they got the Alf costume too for Pikmin 3 representation.
Ow.
And that's cool, even though Alf is lame. But like, he's Olimar. Like I've always hated him in context of Smash Bros. I actually, up until I played Pikmin 3 for the first time pretty recently, I like genuinely, he was like bottom 3 characters for me in the game just because I hated him in Smash so much. And then I played Pikmin and I'm like, okay, Pikmin as a series is awesome, and so it makes me a lot more attached to Olimar as a character. But like, he's still a little annoying guy in the game. I do like him better now in the game, now that he's been nerfed. Again, I think he was kind of a fun top tier to have in the early days of Ultimate, like before, you know, all the DLCs ruined everything. But he was still annoying, so I'm kind of happy to see him be nerfed. But that being said, I really want there to still be Pikmin representation. And I think he's pretty cool. Like, I respect Olimar players, kinda.
I know nothing about this man.
I'll put him there. And even that's kind of hard for me. I kind of want to put him at top of B, but just because I like Pikmin so much. If they just changed... I don't know how they would change his moveset, but I like him. Pac-Man. Goofy, ah.
I think it's funny and cool that they put him in the game, but my only experiences with him is playing against him, and I always want to cry when I do that.
That's fair. He is, especially for a newer player, he's like
I've
crazy.
gotten better. I now like understand and retain more of what he actually does, so I sort of know what to expect. But still, he's traumatizing.
He is pretty
Sorry
crazy.
about my bit defender.
I really think he is funny. I'm very happy that they put him in. I remember when um, Smash 4 was coming out, and my brother, we were like going out to eat or something, and my brother was like, "Did you hear they put uh, Pac-Man in Smash?" But I thought he said Batman. And I was like, that's so weird. Because, like, that was... it was weird that
If they
that was
put
just weird,
if we lived in a universe where they put Batman and Smash, then Smash characters would be like Fortnite characters.
Yeah, I'm much... And then I learned later that it was Pac-Man and not Batman, and I was, like, so much happier. I think he's so... I feel similarly about him as I do about Duck Hunt. I think they're so fun. They're such weird ideas. I mean, Pac-Man is like a circle, and I know that this is like more of like Pac-Man World, like later Pac-Man stuff. But like, they, a lot of his attacks allude to the original Pac-Man game where he's just a circle, and like that's his final smash and stuff. I just love it, and also I really really like how they designed his character. I think he's really fun, and cool. And like seeing people that are really good at Pac-Man is like, to me is like top 5 things to witness in Ultimate.
I admire people who are good at Pac-Man.
I want to play more Pac-Man.
You should play more Pac-Man. Imagine if they put Hatsune Miku in Smash Bros.
I mean, so true.
Is she in Super Smash Flash?
No.
Damn.
No, Hatsune Miku is not in Super Smash Flash.
I bet she's in Rivals of Ether. Is that
No,
the one?
well,
Am I thinking of the right one?
The one where
you
fans can like make their own characters?
Yeah, the one with Ronald McDonald.
Yeah.
I bet she's in there.
Yeah, you're probably right, actually. Yeah, you're probably right. I don't... They would need to put Goku in Smash before they put Hatsune Miku. That's all I'm saying. Like, so they need to put...
Hey, it's me, Goku.
Hatsune Miku's, I would argue, is not primarily a video game character. And in order to do that, they need to, like, open the barrier to that first, because as of right now in official Smash, it's still just, like, video game characters.
Yeah.
And if they're ever... I think the first one that isn't a video game character needs to be Goku. Because that's what everyone wants. I don't even care about Goku, but, like, that's just the way of the world, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Palutena?
Palutena.
Kind of complicated. It's Kid Icarus representation, which I'm into.
Mm-hmm.
However, and I do like how she plays, and I'm happy that we have like a top tier Kid Icarus character. Like that's pretty fire. However, I do think she's potentially, in my opinion, like maybe the most annoying character to play against. She's just, I think she's, like, really good. She's the best, like, honest character, and I think, and she gets away with a lot of stuff. But, again, I don't really care. I think she's cool.
She's cool.
Why did I not... I think I'm going to retroactively change something from the last stream. I think I want Pitt to be an S tier. I want to remember what I said about him, because I don't remember why I didn't put him in S tier. But I want him in S tier. I like him. I mean, I guess he kind of sucks in this game. I mean, he's, like, very mid. But I still like him a lot. If this was a Project Plus tier list, he'd be an S. I guess I'll leave it there. She'll go there. Yeah. Pichu? Oh, this is a complicated one. I mean, this is just... Pichu makes me very, very, very nostalgic towards, like, the first half year of Smash Ultimate's lifespan. Those, in my opinion, I wish we could go back to those days. even with all the jank, it was way better than what we got now.
I like Pichu because he's funny.
He's fun.
And I also like for like to make the hitboxes not unfair, they made Pichu like almost the same freaking size as Pikachu.
That is pretty funny.
He's so huge in Ultimate.
He was pretty big, yeah. I don't know if you know about it or if I've told you about it, but like when the game first came out, Pichu was pretty, from what I remember, if not the best, it was one of the best, but I remember him being considered the best character in the game, which is, wish, this is maybe a hot take, but I wish that was still the case. I want Pichu to be the best character. I think that's so funny, especially with the history of Smash.
It is funny.
And them being, because literally their whole existence was a joke character in Melee, because it's kind of funny to me that Pichu isn't considered the worst character in Melee because they were designed to be the worst character. Like, a bunch of their moves, like, don't really work. Their damage to themselves was, like, way worse in that game, and just everything about them in that game, like, sucked. But they still somehow weren't the worst in that game. That's a Melee moment. But point is, it's so funny that they've only been in 2 games, and in the first part of Ultimate, like their first game they sucked, and then this game they were like the best character. I think that's so funny. But then, like a few months in, they nerfed him, and now he like sucks, and it makes me so sad, cause like they massacred my boy. It's kind of crazy. I'm kind of impressed with how they butchered him because the nerfs were like very calculated. It was very calculated nerfs. However, it's all kind of relative because I really don't think they actually, the nerfs weren't that extreme. He's just a very like volatile character, so they just turned up everything just enough to make him not nearly as reliable. Like, even when he was considered to be kind of the best character in the game, like, there were still some people that didn't like that he damaged himself and would argue that Pikachu was still better. So after he got nerfed, it was just, like, pretty clear that you should just play Pikachu. Which is fine, because I do like Pikachu as a character more than Pichu, like, for sure. But I remember playing as Pichu when the game came out, and he was so fun. Like, I remember loving his neutral layer, like, and I liked it more than Pikachu's at first, because I like the single hitbox instead of the multi-hit. Anyways. There's a lot to say about this little guy. I'm trying to decide, I guess I like the little history about him. I like that there's a choice between, like, him and Pikachu. I think him and Pikachu are a better dichotomy than, like, Lucina and Marth, I guess. And Ness and Lucas. But that's, I think, where it ends for me, because I don't really play him anymore. I play this guy instead. Which is sad, but it's gotta... But it's not that sad, because it's Pikachu, and everyone loves Pikachu, and he's awesome. Pikachu will go here for me. I think he's
Pikachu.
Fun.
He's cute.
I think he's the best Pokemon in this game in terms of like viability, but that's not where we're ranking. But he's fun to play. He's got a very unique style, even though he's kind of annoying. But he's a speedy, quick little guy. Over the past years, especially, like the past couple years, I've been more and more... I used to not really care for Pikachu because I thought he was, like, overrated and stuff. And, like, objectively, he probably still is a little overrated, but that's not because he's bad, it's just because he's, like, the Pokemon of all time.
Yeah, it's kind of, like, his entire purpose to be overrated.
Yeah, but I just love him. I'm biased. Pikachu's Pokepark from the Nintendo Wii.
He's grown on me. When I, like, first started playing Pokemon for a really long time, I was like, oh, it's Pikachu.
Yeah,
Pikachu.
me too.
Oh, Pikachu. But now he's grown on me. He's a cute little guy.
Piranha Plants.
Piranha Plant.
It is.
When I first played this game, I saw Piranha Plant on the roster, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna play Piranha Plant.
Yeah.
And I still think it's amazing that he's in this game. I love Piranha Plant.
It is. I do remember being there for the announcement, and it was a really hype announcement. Like, it was weird, because, like, they're kind of, like, the actual first DLC character, but it was, like, at launch, and it was before, like, the actual Fighter's Pass, I think, so it was kind of... Their existence in the game is kind of weird.
I think it's hilarious that Piranha Plant is in Smash and Waluigi isn't.
So true. I think it's fun. I think the way they implemented him is fun. I was really hype about him when he first came out. I've grown desensitized for sure. I still think he's got a unique playstyle, but he's kind of annoying. And I don't know. I'm not as into him anymore. Maybe it's just the novelty's worn off for me, but I do still think it's fun. But also, he's not really like a, I don't know, he hasn't stuck in my brain as like a, and maybe it's part of the curse of being like a DLC character, but he hasn't really stuck in my brain as being like a Smash character yet. He kind of just feels like a gimmick character, which he like is. But, I mean, that being said, he's fun. Would I put him... This is where I feel like I want him right now, but I'm trying to think if I want him. It kind of feels rude to have him behind Lucina. I think that's where I put him, unless that makes you too upset if you want to see him higher.
He's fine. He's fine there.
This one might... I don't think it's too controversial. I know people have a lot of mixed feelings about this guy, but like generally it seems to skew positive.
Pokemon Trainer.
But for me...
When Sam plays Smash with his friend and he gets Pokemon Trainer, they have to nerf Sam. And is it that you're just not allowed to use Squirtle, or you just have to pick one for each stock? Because I've seen you do both.
Our friend does not like me to play a Squirtle, for sure. I forget about that. They also just don't like me playing as Pokemon Trainer in general, but like... I usually try to nerf myself by being Charizard. Yeah, I really, really, really like Pokemon Trainer. I'm not gonna lie. I think he goes like there for me.
He's
not gonna
cool.
lie, in this game specifically, like, if we're talking about the whole of Smash, Fox has to have respect, but like in this game, Fox is kind of lame compared to Pokemon Trainer. In fact, I might change a little bit of these retroactively. In this game, Inkling's way cooler than these guys.
Inkling!
And in this game, Joker's cooler than these guys. Before we started the stream, Bug was talking to me about how my list felt a little not ultimate enough. And looking back on it, I think I agree. So I'm kind of changing things up a little bit retroactively.
Yeah, to be fair, this was supposed to be a Smash Ultimate tier list, and a lot of the time, some of the factors going into our judgment of the characters come from Sam's experiences in past Smash games.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is warranted, because in
it ties into my
order to
personal
judge
preference.
ultimate characters, you kind of have to look at them within the context of where they're coming from.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you take a character that was, like, really sucky in past games, and now they're pretty good, you want to put them in higher than, like, a new character that just came in and was, like, good already.
Yeah.
Because, like, an improvement feels like something that should be ranked higher than just coming in and starting out pretty good.
Yeah. I also just, again, I think part of why it wasn't even necessarily... Now that I'm thinking back to my reasoning in the past, it wasn't even necessarily, like, me considering them in other games. It's just their iconic factor in the franchise that is built from their history in the games. Which is why I think Fox was so high, because he's iconic. I mean, that's why these two are at the top, because to me they're the most iconic in the game. But, like, Fox is also iconic. You know what? I'm putting Joker back behind these guys. Yeah, I'll split the difference. Yeah, that's right. But Inkling can go higher. Inkling's fire. I don't give a ball for it. Anyways, I was supposed to talk about Pokemon training. I love him. I think the gimmick of being able to switch between 3 Pokemon is so cool. It's the 3 starters. I think the way that they like spread the distribution to where like one of them is like a 1 stage, one of them is the 2nd stage, and one of them is the 3rd stage. I think that's awesome. They all have such different play styles. It's so fun. It's like awesome. I generally think it's like probably my favorite concept for a character in Smash. They implemented it so well. I love that he's actually like good in this game, whereas he kind of was not that great in the other one. I think it's great. There was some top player that said this. I think it was Leo, MK Leo. But like, and I agree with his take that like if someone really like put the time in, that this might be the best character in the game. But they are kind of hard to play, like balancing all the things. But they have so much potential. They kind of have an answer for everything, but you just don't. The problem is that you don't have readily available access to everything at every time. But they're awesome, and they're Pokemon. If I could only choose one Pokemon character to like leave in the game, and this counts as one, I think I'd have to go with them.
It makes the most sense.
You get the most bang for your buck.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, it has Ivysaur, and Ivysaur specifically is awesome. Yeah, I love Pokemon Trainer, and he gets bonus points. I'm biased towards any character that was introduced in Brawl. They added, I know that game is messed up, but they added some banger characters in that game. In my opinion, it has the best new character lineup, except for maybe like the first one, but that doesn't count. Richter, I'm not going to lie to you. I haven't played a game with Richter in it. So maybe that'll change my mind. Like, I actually really want to try some of the newer Castlevanias, because I've only played the early ones. Like the first Castlevania and Super Castlevania. And the newer ones are supposed to be really cool. And the Castlevania shows are cool, and Richter's pretty cool in the show. I still need to finish Nocturne, though, to have an informed opinion on him.
I have no opinion on Richter.
But that being said, as someone that doesn't really know much about Richter, to me, he's like pointless. Like, I'm like, why? We already got Simon Belmont. Why do we need Richter? Especially because they're the same. Like, and especially because I already don't like the way they implemented Simon's gameplay. Like, it's just more of a bad thing, I think. He just leaves a sour taste in my mouth. I'm honestly really tempted for him to be the first F. Just because I don't respect him at all. The only thing keeping him up for me is that he's from Castlevania, which I think is a really cool franchise, and I am really, really happy that they finally have Castlevania representation in the franchise. However, it's just Richter specifically. I think I'll put him at bottom of D.
No F. Do you see yourself putting anything in F?
I know one character that's going in there.
Okay.
I think I have two.
I know who you're talking about.
I have two, actually, that are for sure going, and maybe another one will. But it's like characters that I actively think should not be in the game. Like, do I actively think Richter shouldn't be in the game? Kinda. Like, if it was just Richter, like, if they didn't add Simon and it was just Richter, he'd be higher for me. But because they already have Simon, and then they're just like, oh, it's like Richter. I mean, you'll notice that
they didn't want to add just, like, one character.
But, like,
from the game.
They should have. That's what they normally do. Like, they added one Inkling, and they added one Olimar. Like,
I guess so.
That's kind of just, it's normal. It's just because they wanted to pad... A big marketing point they had at the beginning of the game was, like, Echo Fighters, which is kind of funny because most people actually hated that concept. But I always thought it was neat. So they were just like, oh, look, there's, like, more character numbers, but they're just slightly different. You'll notice that a lot of the Echo Fighters are low down for me, which you know, I still like them. I don't mind their existence, but I also don't like, you know, they don't need to be here. He's really annoying. Also, I'm pretty sure I might need to. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the newest, the third Lumi rank, quote official Smash Ultimate tier list finally places the Belmonts like at the as the worst character in the game, which is very shocking to me.
Dang.
But also, I'm not gonna lie, it kind of makes sense because they're just messed up. But they are also really annoying. Oh man, this one's so hard. I might want to like come back to it. I think I'm gonna put him in. Oh, I need to plug your thing in. Is your charger here?
Should be. Laptop be dying.
I think I'm gonna put him in F. I really don't care for Richter. The only okay, you know what? I'll put him in the bottom of D, just because the Castlevania show is cool. And I like the franchise because of that. Yeah. Why is Dark Samus... Well, Dark Samus is lower than Ken because I don't care about Dark Samus as a character, but I like playing them more. Yeah, that's fair. I think they go there. I might come back to it, though, after I rank Simon. Ridley and Richter. Ridley, on the other hand. Gas pick. Fire pick. Insane pick. They were cooking.
Crazy that they actually put him in.
Yes, like the history of that is, I'm such a sucker for it. It's so funny because like, for years people were like, I think since Melee people were like, oh, we gotta put Ridley in the game. We need more Metroid representation, and they were like, he's too big, and like they kind of like clowned on them in Brawl because they made him like a boss fight in Brawl. And they were like, well, he's in the game now, but he's so big that he has to be a boss. And then they come back, like, almost a decade later. And they're like, here he is. He's like, all squat. And then they have the taunt where he, like, stands up, like, to his full height because he's, like, tall. It's, like, it's awesome. And it's not just that, but he's also... I think he's, like, the most underrated heavy in this game. I don't even know if he actually counts as, like, a super heavy, because I know he's actually a little lighter. But he plays like a heavy. He's so fun. The multiple jumps, but he's like not quite as floaty as D to D. His neutral air is awesome. His down B is iconic, even though it like sucks. Yeah, I don't know. He just makes me really... He makes my brain neurons light up. It might be a bit too impulsive to put him...
activation.
It might be too impulsive to put him in S tier. Especially, like, the main thing that I'm thinking of is, like, it kind of feels weird for me to put him above Samus. But... I don't know. If I had to pick one to leave in the game, I would rather Samus be in the game. But... I do think Ridley's, like, more fun to play. And I think he's, like, he's cooler to be in the game. So it's kind of hard. You know, I think I was being a bit too brash. I think I'm going to put him right behind Samus. Just ranking them relatively. Yeah. Yeah, I guess this is where I'd put them. Because I'd definitely rather have Cloud be in the game, I guess.
Cloud!
It's kind of hard, but I personally think they're cooler than Donkey Kong in this game. But Donkey Kong, again, has very powerful iconic factor that honestly might put him in S, but... Robin! Get them out of here. Okay. It's cool that they have a unique moveset for a Fire Emblem character. They're not just swordy. That's pretty cool. But I don't really care. I think they're my least favorite Fire Emblem. Yeah, for sure. I don't like them. Some people like them though. I respect it. It's kind of fun. I don't know. It's very C tier for me though. Higher than Bayonetta though. Yeah, that's good for me. Rob?
Rob.
I'm very biased
Rob.
because in my brain, Rob is like the coolest, scariest character because when I was a kid just learning Smash for the first time in Brawl, my brother played Rob and he would always beat me. And so in my brain, Rob was like the final boss of characters. That if I could like beat him, I was truly a Smash player. Which is retroactively, I think that's very cute of myself. And he's very nostalgic for me. He kind of is in the same character as like he's in the same vein as like Game & Watch and I don't know, like Pac-Man, I guess, as being like a wacky
I have
character,
given
but
Rob a chance once, and I had a lot more fun with him than I thought I would. I like Rob.
honestly, I really in terms of Smash Bros, I really like Rob. He's very iconic to me, but it's very personal bias. I know that he's like objectively a really weird guy, and if he was never like if I probably was alive when they I mean I was alive, but if I was like sentient whenever I saw the announcement of them putting him in, I probably would have been way more like underwhelmed because I would be like, who the heck is Rob? But because I grew up like just knowing him from Smash, he's very iconic to me. You have to understand my perspective. This one might ruffle some feathers, but I honestly kind of hate Rosalina and Luma.
Really?
The only thing that is their saving grace for me is that I think that their like concept, not as like a character in the game, but like just a concept in terms of their like playstyle, I think is well executed. I think watching good Rosalina and Luma players is scary. However, I don't like them.
I played them once before I really knew how the game worked, and I actually had quite a bit of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Going back, I think I would have less fun because I understand how the game works, but I feel like I could get the hang of them if I really tried, and I like that they're here.
I know people really like Rosalina. Like, that's the main reason why people like this character. Like, everyone says that Rosalina is best Mario girl. But, like, and this is kind of a hot take, I guess, but I honestly don't really care. And I feel like I'm being pessimistic when I say that, but I'm just being honest. Like, Rosalina doesn't really do anything for me. And to be fair, I played a lot more Mario Galaxy 2 growing up than 1, and so I didn't even have that much exposure to them. I think it's kind of weird how, like, popular they are for only being in, like, one major Mario game. But I mean, I don't blame them, because, you know, it's rightfully so. Mario Galaxy is arguably the best 3D Mario, though that sentiment has been brought more and more into question as time has gone on, I think. But it's definitely a legacy. That being said, yeah, again, I don't really care. I prefer Peach, in general and in Smash especially. Do they go here, or do they go in D for me? For me personally, I think they go in D, but I do think they're neat. I think they're...
Yeah, I think it's cruel to put them in D.
I think their play style is pretty neat. I think they feel... I don't like their movement, but I like their, like, move set. I'll put them right above Bayonetta. I don't like Bayonetta. I'd rather Rosalina than Bayonetta, yeah, okay. Roy! Roy is our boy. Aw, I like Roy. He's cool. I wish he didn't suck so much in Melee, because I would much rather play him in Melee than Marth, but he just sucks too much. I respect Roy for being This is a really stupid take, but in my brain, because again, my first Smash game was it was a kid growing up with Brawl, and so in my mind there was like two main sorties. Marth was like the main sortie, and then Ike was like the alternative to the main sortie. You know, like the Marth alternative.
Mm-hmm.
And for a while for me, because Roy wasn't in Smash 4, but Ike was again, I didn't know for a while that Ike wasn't like the OG Marth alternative, which was actually Roy. And that's why everyone was so hyped whenever he was a DLC in Smash 4. So I put a lot of respect on him for being like the OG Marth alternative. And it's very cool. I think he's one of the coolest top tiers or high tiers. I forget exactly where he is. It's his playstyle is very fun. He's definitely he has to go above Ike, I think. I also like his design. I think objectively he has probably the most endearing design out of any of the Fire Emblems in this game, as someone who hasn't played the Fire Emblems. Yeah, for me he goes there, above Ike.
He has more aura at first glance
Than Ike or Marth.
than Ike.
Dang. I can't agree, but I'm also biased. Sheik. I love me some Sheik. It's kind of biased because I feel like they're the only, well, apart from Ganondorf, who's awesome, they're the only like Zelda character that's been consistently fun to play in the games because they don't suck so much. Like that's the thing about the Zelda characters, that most of them, I know I'm not like, again, I'm not taking viability purely into factor, but whenever the characters suck so much that you can't really play them without like not having fun because they suck, that's when it becomes a problem. And that's where, for me, that's where a lot of the Zelda characters come into play. But Sheik is cool, and cool as a character. It's kind of like a controversial take. I admit that it's objectively a bad take. My take would change if Link didn't always suck so much in the games. But if we had to have one Zelda character, I would choose Ganondorf, and then I would choose Sheik. Which is kind of crazy. I do like Link in Melee, but this isn't a Melee tier list. Yeah, I think that's where I'll put above Meta Knight. Sure. I'll even put above Lucas. And that's where it stops for me. Shulk, I don't give a ball fart about Shulk. I think he's cool.
Mean and rude.
His neutral B is really neat, I think. But I hate the way he plays. But I think he's pretty cool, honestly. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this guy. At least he's more interesting than Chrome. I'll put him there. Okay, back to Belmont time. I think this is where I want to put them. Because it's honestly the saddest story in this game for me. Because I remember the initial burst of hype around Ultimate, and I remember seeing the announcement for this guy, for Simon, and it was so hype, and I would listen to...
It was crazy because Luigi died.
It was crazy because Luigi died. That trailer is so sick. They did such a good job with all the trailers.
Fun King killed Luigi.
And in middle school, on my walks to school, I would like listen to MP3s I downloaded from like the internet, and a lot of them, this was before Ultimate had even come out yet, but like some of the songs had been leaking, and I specifically remember I had the Gangplank Galleon song and the Castlevania one on my list, and I would listen to them, and I loved it. I was very happy to see him, but then, I mean, after all these years, I never even played him that much, because I even knew from the beginning that he was, like, messed up, but I just chose not to think about it too much, but now I have to be confronted with the truth that he is messed up. He plays really lame, but Castlevania's cool. It's sad, too. it's a complicated thing because I actually think that they like the way that they implemented his moveset is kind of it's neat in a way because they did a good job making it actually feel like Castlevania. But that's not actually that good of a thing in this game because like it's neat as an homage to the game, but it doesn't make him fun to play because Castlevania, at least the old school ones, are like kind of clunky to play as, and that kind of transfers into this game, and it's not great. I think his whip is cool. I think all of his special moves are like lame though, but they're fine. I don't know. That's where he goes for me. Again, I want him to stay. I just want them to fix him. But if they can't fix him, I'd rather them take him out, honestly. In the future. Snake!
Solid Snake.
Here comes my Super Smash Bros. Brawl bias. Rearing its head once again.
I like Snake, he's funny.
Snake is so cool. He's very iconic to me. But again, it's Brawl bias. I miss his down smash from Brawl where he had like an extra mine, but I will admit that that's a little extra. He didn't need another explosive device. But it is awesome.
It's kind of funny.
The nature of his existence is so funny to me because at the time they were still testing the waters of like what was appropriate to be in a Nintendo fighting game, and so they didn't want to give their character like a literal gun. So instead, they just chose to give him a million explosive devices because I guess those are less graphic. And it's so funny, too, because, like, now they literally have characters with guns, or at least the one I think of off the top of my head is Joker, who has just a straight-up literal gun. And it's especially funny in hindsight because Brawl is the only Smash game that's rated T. But this one has the actual gun, and it's rated, like, E10. I don't know. The times have changed. But anyways, he's fun. I think it's really funny that he's like top tier in this game, especially because whenever it first came out, he didn't like feel top tier to me because he feels like kind of like clunky, but he just has a lot of wacky tools. I think he's really cool.
He's got gizmos, gadgets, and Nazca tools.
I know that he's kind of like campy, but I like him. I think he's really funny and like iconic. I'd rather him be in here than Samus. I'd rather him be in here than Mario. I'm moving Mario there. I'm moving Mario there. I mean, it is Mario. Yeah, I'll move Mario there. I'll move Mario there. Samus is cooler than Mario. I'm sorry, Mario. Mario's pretty cool, though. But it's Dr. Mario's up there. I'll move Mario here. Okay.
Don't put him above Snake.
I won't put him above Snake.
Good.
Sonic? Oh, this is a spicy one. This is a spicy one. This actually is, I think, one of the spiciest characters
Please
to
stop
rank.
calling Sonic spicy.
It's spicy chili dogs. He is... This is a weird one where my Brawl bias doesn't really come into play. Because, like, when I was playing Brawl as a kid, it was like a... There wasn't even a question that Sonic would be in the game. I was like, in my mind... I didn't realize how big of a deal it was, which really was a big deal at the time. But for me, it was just like, yeah, it's like video game fighting game. Of course Sonic's there. He's like the second video game boy next to Mario. But like, looking back on it now, in hindsight, with like the history of the franchise, it's honestly really cool that they put him in. It was really hype. The first, him along with, I guess, Snake, the first non-Nintendo character, that's a pretty big legacy. Open the doors to a lot of fun stuff later. Open the doors to freaking Pac-Man and Minecraft Steve. Like, he's very important.
How would you feel if they put Knuckles in Smash Bros?
I wouldn't really care that much.
What if they put Shadow in Smash Bros?
It would make me a little mad.
Why?
I would much rather have. In fact, just you saying that relatively, now I changed my answer to the first one, and I'd actually be happy that Knuckles would be in Smash, but I don't want them to add.
What
Shadow
about
in Smash.
Tails? What about Tails?
I don't want Tails in Smash.
Oh, but Tails.
He's not a fighter. He's a silly guy.
Little guy.
I'm kind of biased because I just know both. I know Knuckles' moveset from Project Plus, and I know Tails' moveset from Super Smash Flash. And Tails in Super Smash Flash is like really lame, I think. I know that's kind of controversial because some people like him, but it's not that controversial because he was a. People were really mad at him because he was like the best character in that game, but like in a bad way because he was really annoying. But I don't like Tails as a fighter. I like Tails as a character, but I don't want him to fight. But Knuckles is awesome. He can fight. I think if they had Knuckles with the moveset that he has in Project Plus, that'd be pretty cool. I want him to be like just a little bit faster though. Anyways, Sonic is cool. I've definitely solidified my place as like Mario over Sonic. I'd choose Mario over Sonic nowadays any day of the week. As a kid, I think that was different. I think the Mario franchise absolutely mogs and destroys Sonic at every single turn, except for like the first one. I wouldn't be mad if someone told me that the first 3 Sonic games were better than the first 3 Mario games. Especially the very first one, like Sonic 1 clears Mario 1. I'm kind of sorry. Mario 1 is cool, but like Sonic 1 is really good.
Video game concept be kind of crazy.
Video game concept?
Yeah.
For Sonic?
For both of them.
For both of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sonic is crazier though.
Especially at the time. I can't imagine being alive when the original Sonic came out. That must have been crazy.
Like, blue hedgehog running fast. Rings.
The technology
robots.
of the first Sonic game, it was honestly crazy. It looked amazing at that time. Like all those pixels and all those colors and the music
Yeah.
so good in early Sonic.
Yeah.
Like, again, it freaking mogged Mario back then. I completely understand why there used to be such a rivalry, but now it's kind of swept under the rug, I think, because everyone knows the state of Sonic nowadays. It hasn't been the same since Sonic 06. Anyways, I didn't mean to get too into it. That being said, I still, as much as that is the case, I still really like Sonic as a character. I think he has a lot of potential that they just mismanage. I think he's fun. I still see him as like the video game boy. I do think he needs to be in Smash to some extent, even though he's messed up. And I know that in this game he's like really, really annoying. I think he's probably the worst top tier other than DLC. He's really messed up. I think it's fun that he's good, but not like this. I remember it was so hype in the right before the game came out, they had like the invitational major tournament with like all the top tier Smash players that came in and like did like a tournament to showcase the characters of the game. And I think the grand finals was I think it was Zero and MKLeo with Mario and Sonic respectively. That was I still think that's like one of the hypest tournaments. I mean, I'm probably biased because I haven't watched it in years, but it was kind of like, it might have been the first major Smash tournament I ever actually watched. That kind of helped me get into competitive Smash. So that's also part of why I like Sonic. But yeah, I think anyways, that was a lot of chit chat.
Yammering.
I think I will say, they need to do something about his moveset. It's been said a million times, but they gotta change it up. It's pretty messed up. He has so many moves where he turns into the ball. They gotta give him other stuff. He has other stuff he can do. It's messed up. And he can't be so campy. But also, that's kind of the nature of how he is. I think he's fine. I'd rather have Olimar. But I'd rather have him than Jigglypuff. Okay. That was a long one. Toon Link. I don't know if I've mentioned this in doing this tier list so far, but I'm not very Zelda pilled. So my emotional attachment is kind of askew, but Toon Link is easily my favorite of the Links, at least conceptually, and I still think he's my favorite to play, yeah. And he was introduced in Brawl, so I have a bit of a history with him. I do remember playing him as a kid. I think But I don't think he. I think he's like right above regular Link for me. Wario, so fun. Honestly, Wario S tier. Kind of crazy take, but like I used to. It's kind of funny because I think even by the even at the beginning of Ultimate, I actually like kind of hated Wario. He was like the top of my like least favorite characters list. Like I remember back in the day, I still remember like my bottom 5 was like Wario, Olimar, Rosalina Luma, Bayonetta, and like I think that was it. Maybe with like one more. Um, and a lot of those are still down there, but some of them have had glow ups. Like I love Wario is genuinely one of my favorite characters to play as now. I think his playstyle's so fun.
Hey, goofy as hell.
As a top tier, he's awesome. Gluttony, the Smash player, is like, in my opinion, one of the most entertaining players to watch ever. It's so hype. The comeback mechanic of the waft, it's so goofy, but it's like genuinely so hype. Like the combos are crazy. I fear that if they design him again in a future Smash game, they're gonna nerf him. So I'm trying to enjoy his time in the sun while it lasts. I always, like growing up, I always hated him. I think the main reason I hated him was I didn't like how he like showed his butt and farted all the time. But like, I'm used to it now. And now I like Wario. WarioWare is cool. I see him as like as a cool guy. Putting him above Mario in a Smash tier list, I think is so funny. But like, honestly, real. Wii Fit Trainer, out of the Goofy characters, I don't think she's as necessary.
She scares me.
However, I think she's maybe the funniest one.
She scares me.
Behind
That thing, it scares me.
Behind Bowser, because Bowser's awesome, but I love Wii Fit Trainer. They're fun. I wish that they're like I wish the best strategy for them wasn't to like hog ledge and toss soccer balls, because that's really annoying. But like they have a lot of cool stuff they can do. They genuinely made like one of the most interesting movesets for like the weirdest character. It's very interesting. I love that all of their moves are like the yoga poses and stuff. It's very funny. Definitely one of the most shocking characters to me to be in the game. It really doesn't make any sense, but that's like part of why it's awesome, in my opinion. I think they're funny. I guess I'd rather have Lucario in. Maybe. They do feel weird to play because their hitboxes are so specific. I think that makes them neat, but it is a little inaccessible. Wolf. Again, I'm kind of have rose-colored glasses here from like early Ultimate. But I remember when people were first experimenting with Wolf, and it was like so hype because everyone was like, Wolf is like the best Spacey for the first time. And I was like, yes. Because I knew when the game came out. Because in the timeline for me was, as a kid, in Brawl, my main was Ike, my secondary was Wolf. And then in Smash 4, my main was Ike again. My secondary was Duck Hunt. And so in this game, with all of them, I was like, whoa, I got to like mix and max. So from the beginning, I didn't even care how good any of them were. My main was going to be Ike, and my secondary was going to be Wolf again. And then my tertiary was going to be Duck Hunt, which I kind of let that down because I haven't played him as much as I should. Anyways, Wolf is great. He's awesome. He's I think he might be the character I'm actually like best at, because in the actual like legit tournaments I've been to, he's been who I've performed best as. I've actually performed really. It might be like tied with Ike, which is kind of sad because Ike is like a lot worse of a character, but I just am comfortable with Ike. But even then, I still did pretty good with Wolf. And I think he's so hype. I've always thought he's so cool. I love how they changed him in this game. Like, I think they took all the lame parts of him out from from Brawl. I think all of his changes are good. I think he looks cooler. Like, I honestly think he looks kind of lame in Brawl, looking back. I love the thing between him and Fox. Fox is way more iconic, but, like, in terms of this game specifically, I think Wolf is way cooler of a character. So I think he goes above. I love Wolf.
I know barely anything about Star Fox.
Yeah, Star Fox as a series is awesome, too. I'm happy that it's, like, well represented in Smash.
Here he is.
Are you excited about Yoshi?
Yoshi time.
Yoshi's complicated.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of Smash in general, Yoshi is very, very high for me because my favorite Smash player of all time, Amsa, from Melee, is a Yoshi player. And, like, Yoshi's history in Melee, in that regard, is, like, crazy, with Amsa taking the big house and single-handedly proving the viability of Yoshi. Like, it's a hype story. The documentaries on it on YouTube go insane. But that being said, that's Melee territory. I think, honestly, in every single other game, he's quite lame. Except for this one. I actually think he's cool in this one. And he's considered to be good in this one. I actually think he's, like, very annoying. For me, in the local tournament scene where I am, the best player, in my opinion, is a Yoshi player. And so I've had experience, like, fighting what is, in my opinion, like, a really good Yoshi player, and it's terrifying. So I still see him as, like, a kind of like a big threat. But I think he's cool. Yeah, I wish he was a little more accessible, I guess. But he's cool. I like Yoshi. Yeah, I like Yoshi. Screw it. Where does he go? I want to play him more. Every time I play him, I just feel like I'm writing a mental love letter to Amsa for his contributions to the history of Smash Bros. With Yoshi. Do I put him above Palutena? I think so, but not above Pac-Man. That's where I put him. Young Link can go right behind the other ones. In fact, I'll actually put them lower. I really liked Young Link when this game first came out. I was really excited because at the time I hadn't played Melee and I'd always wanted to try Young Link because I was like, oh, it's like Link, but without all the problems of Link, which is that he's incredibly slow and stupid. So I was really excited, but then he just doesn't hit the same. He's also, like, annoying. I do think he's cool, though. Like, I've developed more appreciation for... It's nuanced still, but I've developed more appreciation for Ocarina of Time. And so I like sort of that idea of him being there as Young Link. I do think that's cool. You know what? Yeah, I'll put him behind.
I have no opinions on Young Link.
I might put him above regular Link. I do like the fact that Link in this game is Breath of the Wild Link, because I like Breath of the Wild. But, like, Young Link is more iconic, I think. But he's more annoying. Yeah, he's just, you know, just thinking of, in terms of gameplay as a factor, he's the most annoying, I think. So I'll put him there. Oh, Zelda. I have kind of a complicated history with Zelda. This is the character that's, like, the worst, that in my mind is, like, the best. Which is, I'll explain. Like, I know that they're, like, low tier, but I have a really hard time fighting them. In my first Smash tournament I ever went to, it wasn't, like, specifically a tournament, but it was at a convention. I'm pretty sure I got second place, but I lost to a Zelda player. And so I have permanent trauma. I just have trauma from the down Bs and me trying to come back on stage as Ike and getting, like, side beat, and it was... And to this day, I want better practice against Zelda players, but they're kind of hard to find. again, because I know they're bad, and so no one really plays them. But then the people that play them, in my opinion, are like really good, and it's really I don't know how to fight Zelda. So I have a lot of respect for Zelda and Zelda players because of that. That being said, and design wise, I'm really happy that they went with the Link's Awakening or Link Between Worlds Zelda design. Forget which one. Sorry. But I really like. I think as like a character design, this is the best Zelda we've had in any of them by far. Again, as someone that grew up with the Brawl and then going into Smash 4, like the Twilight Princess Zelda was like my default Zelda. So this one to me is like a fresh livening up of the character. And I think they're fun. I actually think their moveset's really cool. I just wish that they were better. To me it's one of those characters that just like sucks too much that they're not really fun to play, especially in Melee. But like again, to me in this game, I think they're pretty good. I don't know. I know I just don't know what I'm doing when I fight them, but I think they're pretty cool. I'm scared of them. I think I'll put them there. Yeah, I'll put them above Pichu, I guess. We're getting down there. We're getting down to the wire. ZSS is... It's interesting. I like the sort of history of, like, in Brawl, where it was a weird thing where they were combined with Samus. Kind of. It was like after you did your final smash. It was a weird time. I don't know whether I liked that more or not. I mean, I don't like playing with Final Smash anyways, but it is fun. I've always found it, ever since Smash 4, I've always found it kind of weird for them to be a standalone character. Like, it doesn't quite feel right to me. Because, like, you know, they're the same character. I mean, I guess it's like a Sheik Zelda separation. But, like, I guess as someone who needs to play more Metroid games, it feels like, it always felt weird thematically, because, like, you know, regular Samus is like is like normal, it's like in the suit with all the like power, so it feels like ZSS should inherently be like worse. I don't know. It feels like a weird power imbalance, even though for a while ZSS was considered to be better. I'm pretty she was definitely better in Smash 4, but in this game I think nowadays regular Samus is actually considered better, which is brutal. Maybe. Anyways, I don't really care about them. I don't really like to play them, but I do respect them. I think it's fun to watch them. But their hitboxes are weird. Weird pancaking stuff.
I was pretty considerably good at Zero Suit for a while.
Yeah, especially for someone who has barely played this game. It's I think that's like incredibly... I think that's honestly like a top 5 hardest characters to play. And so it's like kind of crazy pick, but like, yeah. Especially considering that.
I got very used to the way she moves, and that's like the number one thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Is if I can like get used to how a character moves, then that's like locked in. I'm gonna get pretty good at that character if I can figure out how they move.
I honestly don't really care about ZSS. I think they're kind of cool to watch, but like other than that, I don't mess with them, really. I don't like them. I'm kind of just realizing how much I don't really care. I mean, they're fine. They're like mid to me, I guess. You know, they're like middle tier. But again, most of the characters for me are in like A tier. I just like a lot of them, but the list itself looks like smaller to me, but then seeing them all down here was more messed up. Hero. I actually recently have the urge to go back and play some Dragon Quest games, because I hear they're pretty good, and they're like kind of seen as like a counterpart to Final Fantasy, kind of. I think only because of Chrono Trigger, where they're kind of connected by the creators. Anyways, I played one on the PS4 back in the day. I don't remember which one it was, but I wasn't really into it. But at the time, I don't know. I didn't have good taste. That being said, that's all to say that I don't really know Dragon Quest, so I don't have the legacy in mind. I just know them as this guy, and I honestly do not like them in this game. I think conceptually their down B is fun, but I do think it's like the biggest DLC mechanic of all time. It's simultaneously, I think they're really fun in like casual settings. I think it's fun to have a move that you can do that comes out instantly that evaporates your opponent from the screen literally at any percent and doesn't even have to knock them off the stage. Like, that's pretty fun. But like, whenever it's competitive, it's the most frustrating thing ever for your stock to be in the hands of chance. It's really brutal. And I think every single other move they have other than that one is like really clunky, and fighting them is really frustrating, especially when someone knows what they're doing. But they're neat conceptually. I don't know. For me, they're C tier. Yeah. Banjo! This is probably one of my hotter takes on the list, but I honestly might put them in S. Okay, I'll put them like not top of A. I'll put them there. I'll put them...
I again know nothing about this character, besides they look like fancier Duck Hunt to me, knowing nothing about these characters.
Yeah, they're similar. But I think it's so cool that they're here. It's like a cult classic. I love their whole deal. The only reason they're lower is because I think they are dipping into the territory of them sucking too much to be not fun to play. But I think they're just good enough to where they like hover above that zone. Like, I still think they're pretty fun, even though they're pretty slow. But a lot of their moves are really unique and stuff. Like, I think in terms of DLC characters, I'm actually happy that they kind of suck, because unlike a bunch of other DLC characters, they're not like so good that they ruin the game. I think they're fun. I think if I had to keep one DLC in the game, Joker would obviously be first, and then Banjo. I love Banjo. I think he's underrated. Terry, I was about to just like insta put him in F tier, just off of instinct. I just hate him so much. I think I might do it. I don't care. I think I might do it. Dang. I hate him. I wasn't even thinking about him. I hate Terry so much.
He gone.
Like,
that's all, folks.
I
didn't stand a chance.
I don't even remember the game that he's from, which is embarrassing. It's like Final Fight or
Street Fighter?
Fury. No, he's not from Street Fighter.
No, he's not. No,
it's like something fight. I don't know. King of Fighters. I think it's King of Fighters.
Fighting guys.
Anyways, I said this in the last part of this list, I think, but I don't like the fighting game characters. And the only reason Ryu is as high as he is because I put respect on him for being like the OG fighting game character.
Yeah, it's King of Fighters.
Yeah, I got there. And I know that like fighting game players are probably happy to see him, I guess. I've never heard anyone talk about this series in my life, but I know that people like it, I guess. This is controversial because I know people like his moveset. Like, they think he's more fun to move around in than like Ryu and stuff, but I don't care. Yeah, okay, I'm putting him in F. It's decided. Just thinking about his stupid jab down B combo makes me livid. It's my least favorite combo, I think, in the entire game. Oh my god, the amount of times I like land from aerial and get like hit on shield, get negative on shield, jab lock into down B and die at like, I don't know, like 80 or something on the side is so messed up. And he can just do it. Oh, I hate him. He has to be my least favorite high tier. And I hate watching him. He's so, in my opinion, way less hype than like every other one. Ryu can be pretty hype. Even Kazuya is like, at least Kazuya is like cool, even though he puts a chokehold on everything. I hate Terry. And I don't care about him aesthetically. I don't like his dumb hair and his jeans and his lines and how he tosses his hat. I didn't really realize how much I hate him until I'm forced to rank him. But like I hate him. It's kind of a controversial one. But I really don't care about him. Okay, I'm sorry. That's the end of my rant. I'm sorry, fighting game players. I think fighting games are cool. I just can't get into them. Byleth, specifically female Byleth. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really like them, but like I think they're fun. It's kind of fun to have like a Fire Emblem character that like feels like a heavy, I guess. I don't think they're as fun as Corrin though. I like Corrin's forward air stuff. They feel like DLC to me. I don't know. They're fine. I don't really care. I wish MKLeo didn't play them so much, but at the same time, I guess it's fun that they get some representation. It's also fun whenever everyone collectively agree that a character sucks, like Byleth, but then like someone like Leo just like picks them up and does really well with them. That's always fun. Here's the first character I thought of when I thought of F tier. Min Min is a tragedy. I was actually pretty...
They really tried with arms.
Yeah. I was actually kind of excited when they announced it because I went through a big arms phase. Like, I want to go check on my Switch. I probably have at least 100 hours in arms. Probably more. I played a lot of arms back in the day whenever it was like one of the 10 games on Switch.
The good old days.
But it was... I genuinely think ARMS is actually cool and pretty fun. But it's definitely not the sensation that they thought it was. Like, they wanted it to be their main... Because Nintendo has never wanted Smash Bros. To be like a fighting game, which is, everyone already knows at this point, is stupid. And so that was like the first game that they were really like, we're gonna make this like, this is our fighting game. It's gonna be so unique and Nintendo flavored. Meanwhile, they already had Smash and they already have competitive Splatoon, but... And then ARMS.
Lord.
I mean, I like ARMS. And again, and Min Min was my main in ARMS. I guess they were more popular. I didn't really realize how popular they were, I guess, for them to be put in this. I think they should have put Springman in instead, even though I like Min Min better. It just feels weird. Feels like a weird pick to be here. That being said, you know, it's fine conceptually. But like ARMS, at the end of the day, as much as I think it's kind of neat, it's a dumb game. It's stupid. No one cares about it. And more importantly, the way that they implemented it just sucks so much. It does not go in Smash. You shouldn't be able to hit people with your dragon double forward smash across the entire stage, or like hit them when they're in the blast zone from standing on stage. It's so messed up. It's so annoying. They don't feel good to play. Their power dynamic is like even more cooked than Little Max somehow, because like everything that they have kind of sucks. But like not as much as Little Max. It's everything's like kind of bad, but their range is just so incredibly good that it just doesn't even matter. It's so annoying. It's not fun to play as them, because you're just like trying to be as far away from your opponent as possible and like hit them with forward smash or like forward air. And then when you're playing against them, you're just trying to like get in for a grab. It's just like so... It's a bad thing in Smash. They gotta take him out. I think it's the worst one, honestly. Anyways. Probably the most controversial character on this list. At least in this game. And I have complicated feelings about him. If you were there for the Steve announcement, it was a different time. It was crazy. Steve for Smash, it still is wild to me. It still doesn't feel real. Seeing him on this list is crazy to me. They really put him in.
The beginning of the end.
I thought I have to admit, I think it's really fun. It's like the biggest meme ever, and he's here. He's here. He's such a silly guy, and at the end of the day, I still think it's fitting because he. Whenever I think of like I mean, in our modern era, Minecraft is pretty much the video game. So I think it's fitting to have him here. And normally I would probably be like, I don't know how like if he wasn't in the game, and someone was like trying to argue that he should be, I think I would probably argue against it because I'd be like, oh, I don't know how you would implement it. It's kind of weird. But they did a really good job with his moveset. It's really fun. The way it like ties into the game and ties into Smash, it incorporates it really well. And like the concept of being able to build your own platforms in a platform fighter is really neat, even though it is kind of broken.
It's busted.
I think he's really fun. However, he is the best character in the game, and he's really annoying. He's really cooked. That being said, I don't think he's as... I like him more as a broken top tier than the previous titles. I think he's more fun. Maybe not as fun as Fox in Melee, but he's definitely more fun than like Brawl Meta Knight and Smash 4 Bayo. I think he's neat, and I think he's fun. I like the zombie skin. But that being said, he's definitely, to me, he does feel like DLC. I can't really... He doesn't feel like a Smash character completely to me yet. But I like him. I definitely also think... I think he's very fun to play as, for sure. But still, he doesn't... He's a weird space, because he is, like, iconic as a video game character, but not really as a Smash character to me. I think I'd rather have, like, all these guys than him. I'll put him above Pichu. That's where I'll put him. Ooh, Seppi! Seppi Rot.
Seppi.
He's so fun. Wow.
Seppi.
I kind of feel bad because I kind of forget about him because I don't see him that much.
Sephiroth.
But I'm very happy he's here. I think he might be my personal favorite DLC character.
He's cool.
I still haven't even played Final Fantasy VII because I'm trying to work my way through Final Fantasy VI first. But I am very, I don't know, I'm like drawn to it. And I really like him. I think he's really fun. I think he's fallen off over time in the meta as people have learned to deal with him. But when he first came out, it was really fun because everyone knew he was very like polarizing. But he was like kind of seen as like anti-meta at the time. And it was very neat. But like I said, he's kind of fallen out of grace. But he's still like fine. I think he's fun. I think he's cool. I like the way he feels like a good DLC character to me because he has a lot of wacky stuff and a lot of stuff that's like really scary, especially from a casual lens. But at the end of the day, you can answer to a lot of his stuff. Like, you kind of just have to like box him out. I don't know. He's cool, and just having a counterpart to Cloud is very nice. I really like him. I'll put him right behind Cloud because I would rather have Cloud. But I was debating whether these ones would go above or below Min Min. But I think Min Min, like I said before, I think Min Min is the worst. But these ones are really messed up. I'm not gonna lie. This is the hottest take to me personally. I hate Terry even more than them though. At least I still think they're fun to play because they have sword. But they are incredibly annoying to fight against. I think they're the lamest like top tier. Because to me they just feel like the win button in terms of like sword is. I mean, you have to like still work, I guess, but like everything feels so free. They're so fast. They have a stupid amount of kill power. Um, yeah, I don't like them. I don't like that a lot of top tier players recently, especially like sword fighters, have been like playing as them. Like every time I see like Spargo play as Aegis, I just die a little bit on the inside. Oh man, play Cloud, man. Cloud is so much cooler. Anyways, they're fine. I guess it doesn't really matter. They're the same to me, but if if I'm ranking them separately, I'll put Mithrad or Pyrad above just because Mithra's combos are even more annoying than Pyra's skill power. Kazuya he's kind of complicated for me.
What is he from?
He's from Tekken.
Okay.
Which is cool representation for the modern fighting community. Like, if Ryu is like the king of like historical fighting games, then Kazuya is probably, maybe not Kazuya specifically, but like Tekken is like modern fighting game. So it's cool to see rep for that. They're that's a pretty spicy pick because everyone knows how they kind of break the game. They're very cheesy. It probably feels like the cheesiest character to play because it's pretty free. But I mean, over time, people have gotten more used to it. You can kind of, I don't know, play around him. But I mean, everyone. I don't need to talk about the touch of death craziness. And the comeback mechanics, and he just has everything. He's got the super armor. He's got the touch of death. He's got the stupidly good recovery. He's got the like jab that does like 50%. He's messed up. But that being said, I kind of a little bit like I always want to die whenever I'm actually fighting him in competitive or like in Elite Smash. But like if I'm just like playing Smash with the boys, I actually kind of like that he's there. To me, he feels like a skill check, like a kind of like a final boss, but like as a fighter. But instead of like that's kind of how I feel about Sephiroth too, except Sephiroth's actually more balanced. And this guy's obviously not. But that being said, I still don't like fighting game characters. I still think if I had to pick one, I'd still pick Ryu. I think he's lamer than Ryu. They did a good job, like, making him look cool in the game. Like, his attacks look cool.
He does look pretty cool.
But
he doesn't look as cool as Sephiroth.
I do still honestly think he's lame. I'll honestly put him there. But that's pretty good for a fighting game character for me. I could honestly... I think this is me being pretty generous. I feel like I could easily put him, like, right below Ken there. But I don't know. I think he's funny, I guess, is where I'll put him.
Last one.
I don't know why they chose this skin specifically, but whatever. They didn't do the Kingdom Hearts 1 skin, but...
Sora.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm attached to this one.
The only thing I know about Sora is that I associate my older sibling with Sora, so he gets high points from me, but I also understand that he's kind of broken.
He's not broken at all.
Really?
Like, well,
unless you
mean in a bad way.
Yeah.
But even then, he's not. I wouldn't
like
say he's broken in a bad way.
They made him work kind of weird.
He's weird for sure.
He's very floaty.
Yeah, he's very floaty. But yeah, that's kind of a funny bond that we have because I also associate Sora with my older sibling because I also watched my older sibling play Kingdom Hearts as a kid and was like, wow. But I also played a little bit of it. And for that reason, I definitely have a lot of nostalgia for Sora, and I think that Sora, I don't know. Like, you know, he's the last character to be added in this game, and I think it's a fun one. Like, he feels, you know, Kingdom Hearts is a pretty big franchise. But it's just that, you know, Kingdom Hearts also feels like a kind of a, I don't know, celebration of of media. I don't know. So it feels like a nice thing to be in Smash. I don't know. People have mixed feelings about it. I really like it. I'm happy for him to be the last character in Smash, especially from the perspective of this maybe being the last Smash game, which most people don't think it is. But if it is, I think he's a nice send off. That being said, the way he plays is weird, but I don't mind it. I like it. It's not like bad. He's really floaty, but I like him. I like playing as him. He's a little too floaty for my personal taste, but I like Sora as a character enough that I kind of deal with it, and I still play him, and it's fine. I wish he didn't rely on his neutral beast so much because it's kind of annoying. A lot of his specials are pretty annoying, but he's cool. He can do some cool stuff, and I just like him. I just like Sora. I'm not defending it too much. That being said, I don't place him too high. I think I put him like there. Yeah. Is he behind Bowser? I think he's behind Bowser for me, because Bowser's cool. Honestly, I'm still kind of surprised Bowser's this low. But then when I think of the characters above him, I'm like, sure. Honestly, I might move the Lynx down, but I also don't think I care too much to think about it. I think I'm done.
And that's it. That's all of them.
I'm gonna do a slow scroll on all of the. Here's the list's name if you want to do it for yourself. But I'm gonna do a slow sort of scroll on it to recap. Here's S's. Yeah, I'm pretty chill with this. I still think it's funny that I had to be coerced to put Ike there, but I guess if it is my list, he needs to be there. And then A tier. Doc being top of A tier is so funny, but but I stand by it. I think it's so funny that Sora's like the only one with like a white background. There's the A tiers. Oh, these also have white backgrounds.
Why is only 2 of them Mii fighters?
There's our B tiers and C tiers. Most of them are A tiers. I like most of the characters in this game. And then here's some of the stinkers. Well,
we got her done.
That was really long.
Every single one of them. Yeah.
Anyways.
Bye-bye. So that's it. Goodbye.